Hello everyone. Today we're going to learn about stylistic elements. And there are 4 of those we're going to study. The first one is the metaphor or the simile, which are ways of making comparisons in your paper. This sentence right here is a simile because it uses the term like or as to make the comparison. So if you're talking about someone who's exhausted and you say he melted like a candle onto the couch, you're using a simile. If you say he actually was a candle, that's a metaphor. He was a candle melting onto the couch. The most interesting metaphors and similes are those that make an unusual connection that you haven't thought of before. Here's another example. He flew like a bird off the jump. That's a simile because of the word like in there. He was a bird flying off the jump. Now, when you think about flying, you often think about a bird. So although this is a metaphor or a simile, it's not an unusual one. If we replace the word bird with bottle rocket, he flew like a bottle rocket off the jump. Or he was a bottle rocket flying off the jump. Now we have a different visual image in our mind, and it's a more unusual metaphor and simile than saying he flew like a bird. So the more unusual you make your metaphor or simile, the more powerful an effect it will have on your reader. Let's look at another example. We're back here with rockets. A rocket, he shot out of the starting gate. Or he shot out of the starting gate like a rocket. All right, that's how you use a metaphor or simile. Let's see how we can use it in our paper. In my introductory paragraph, I have this sentence: my brother and I slipped out of the house and no one tried to stop us. I could put, my brother and I slipped out of the house, silent as mice. But that would be a very common metaphor or simile. So this is what I'll do instead. I put in the words, silent ghosts. My brother and I, silent ghosts, slipped out of the house. Now, let's take the word ghost and use our synonym finder. Phantom. Ooh, I like that better. Silent phantoms slipped out of the house, and no one tried to stop us. All right, I've used my metaphor or my simile. You can put one in your paper too. Let's move on to our next stylistic element. Our next stylistic element is doubles. One example of a double is a double adjective. For instance, strong and kind, scared and lonely, or small and weak. Another kind of double is a compound noun. Jeff and Mark, friends and family, cake and ice cream. Another kind of double is a compound verb. Cried and wailed, fought and screamed, gasped and fell. Let's see how we can use those in your paper. In this sentence, I could change the word turns to turns and transforms into pink, purple, dark blue, and finally gray. Or, in this sentence, I could change the word bring into play and improvise on guitars, bass guitars, and drums, trumpets, and flutes. Okay, so you can see the way that a double verb works. What about a double noun? In this paragraph, I have as the music winds down, and I could easily change that to as the music and talk wind down. And that makes a more interesting beginning. Okay, what about a double adjective? In this sentence, I'm going to change the word cold to cold and brisk. There's a double adjective. I like the cold and brisk weather on my prairie. Okay, now you know how to use doubles. Let's look at our next stylistic element. Here's our last one that we're going to learn today. This is a form of parallel structure, although there are other ways to use parallel structure. It's called the triple verb phrase. Running down the hill, gasping for breath, she finished the race. So you can see that this verb is an ing verb, and this verb is an ing verb. If we did it this way, running down the hill, she gasped for breath, she finished the race, it wouldn't be nearly as good of a sentence. This would be correct. Running down the hill, gasping for breath, she finished the race. Okay, let's try another one. This time we didn't use ing verbs, we just used straightforward verbs. We ate our burgers, drank our milkshakes, and wolfed down our fries. So, 3 verb phrases using the same verb phrase. Up here we actually have only 2 verb phrases, but we could have added a third one. So that's how you do a triple verb phrase or a bit of parallel structure. This is actually a double verb phrase, and this is a triple verb phrase. Okay, let's see how that looks in the paper. I actually already have a piece of parallel structure in my paper. At midnight, we shoot off the last of the fireworks, listen to the trumpeters play Auld Lang Syne, and head off to bed. So right here is my bit of parallel structure. Now it's your turn. See if you can add one example of each of those stylistic elements somewhere within your paper. Good luck!